The courtroom was silent, save for the trembling breath of an old man hunched in the stand. His frail hands clutched a worn military cap, the fabric faded by time and memory. His voice cracked, pleading, not for mercy, but for understanding, and across the bench, the judge laughed, a sharp, hollow laugh that echoed through the chamber like a cruel verdict, slicing through the man's dignity. He didn't know who was about to walk through those courtroom doors. Harold Jensen was a man time had quietly forgotten. Once a soldier, now a shadow. His life was stitched together by the shrapnel he still carried in his leg, the medals he kept in a dusty drawer, and the silence that swallowed his nights. He had fought wars most Pioplianly read about. He had bled for the flag that now seemed to stand so far from him. After his wife passed, Harold's only family became his aging dog, Scout. That dog wasn't just a pet. Scout was his last anchor. The heartbeat that kept him steady. But the city had changed. Fines piled up. Bureaucracy stayed in its grip. One mispayment and Scout's registration snowballed into a legal mess. Today, Harold stood in court over a fine he couldn't pay, facing the possible seizure of his best friend. And still, he wore his old uniform jacket buttoned neatly as if dignity could shield him from shame. The prosecutor was young, sharp, dispassionate, reading the case as if it were a simple transaction. A repeat offender of city pet ordinances, she recited, not once looking Harold in these. Failure to comply, failure to pay. The judge, a man more interested in the clink of his gavel than the weight of his decisions, smirked as Harold's voice trembled. It's just me and Scout, Harold whispered, tears slipping down his weathered cheeks. He's all I've got. The judge scoffed, barely suppressing his amusement. You're crying over a dog. A ripple of quiet laughter surfaced from a few in the gallery. To them, it was just another day, another docket. But to Harold, it was the day his whole world might collapse. The judge leaned back, ready to deliver a ruling. As hollow as she's chuckle, when suddenly the courtroom door swung open with a crash. Boots struck the marble floor in perfect cadence. Uniforms crisp, eyes forward that a squad of soldiers entered, cutting through the stale air with sullen authority. At their helm walked Head Captain Elena Vargas, a decorated officer known across 3 states for her valor, but more importantly, for her loyalty to her own. The room stilled. The judge's gavel hung midair. Without waiting to be summoned, Captain Vargas marched to the front, her voice calm, beauty yielding. Your Honor, she began. I'm here to speak on behalf of Sergeant Harold Jensen, my mentor, my friend, and the man who once saved an entire unit from ambush, including me. The judge smirk faltered as Vargas continued. You see, when we were pinned under enemy fire, outnumbered, and outgunned, it was Sergeant Jensen, despite a shattered leg, who carried us to safety. He's their son. I'm standing here. He's their son. Many of us are. Her words fell heavy, undeniable. Behind her, the soldiers, all from different branches, ranks, and ages, stood tall and still in testimony. I've rallied these men and women, she said, her voice softening, because a hero shouldn't stand alone in a courtroom while his last friend is taken away. The gallery was silent now. Their earlier laughter curdled into shame. I'm paying his fine, and so is everyone here. And I would suggest, Your Honor, her gaze pierced through him, that this court remember who it custo ridicule. The judge shifted uncomfortably, his gavel lowering in a quiet surrender. The ruling changed. The fine dissolved. Scout would go home with Harold. But more than that, Harold didn't leave that courtroom as a forgotten man. He walked out flanked by soldiers who hadn't forgotten, by strangers who now saw him. Even the judge, long after the doors had closed, sat in silent reflection, the echo office laughter haunting him in the quiet chambers of his mind. Some moments remake us. Some stories refuse to stay small. Heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they walk with limps and carry fading memories. Sometimes they just need someone to stand beside them. If this story stirred something in you, don't let it stop here or share it. Let someone else remember the weight of dignity, of loyalty, of standing up when it matters. And if you believe the world needs more moments like this, subscribe to be the reason someone still believes in kindness. Start today.